Hey, what's up? I'm legally blind, hard of hearing, and a high school teacher. And this is part 2 to my little video series about disclosing my disability to my students. So in part 1, we talked about why I disclose it. Today, we're going to be talking about how I disclose it. So I always view the first day of school as an opportunity to get to know about the class and to get to know about the teacher. Mainly so students can see what they're about to get themselves into for a whole semester. But I digress. But this is typically when I do tell students. It typically goes like this. I introduce myself. I talk a little bit about my education, a little bit of the things I like to do outside of teaching. And then when I'm done talking about that and I'm ready to tell my students about my disability, I ask them this question. So those are just some things about me. Now, I have heard that there is a rumor floating around about me, and I just kind of want to make sure that I clear the air. Does anybody know of this rumor? You got some students looking around like, what's he talking about? Other students who have had me before, they're like, yep, he's about to talk about it. And you always see like that one student who's heard about it, but they don't want to be like raising their hand. Like, do I say anything? I don't want to seem stupid. And then occasionally you do have someone who's like, we heard you're blind and that you can't hear. But this is when I dropped the ball and I was like, yeah, the rumor is that I am visually impaired as well as hard of hearing. I will then go into explaining that I have Usher's type 2, which is retinitis pigmentosa with bilateral hearing loss. And I go into sort of the science about how that stuff works. I will show my students my hearing aids and then do the little whistly thing. And explain that just because I have hearing aids doesn't mean my hearing is up to par with the standard of human hearing. You'll need to repeat yourself. It'll take me a while to get used to your voice. All that good stuff. And then when I talk about my vision, I basically explain that it's like tunnel vision with a little bit of blur in the central vision. And then I bust out the simulation goggles. Please note this is prior to COVID. But I would pass the goggles around the room. The students would try them on so they could see what I see. And then on top of that, the goggles look funny. So, they want to take little Snapchat stories or whatnot and things like that. But it does give them a good idea about my experience of what they can see through my eyes. Pun intended, I guess. And in my opinion, it brings them a little closer to kind of understanding more about me as a teacher and why I do the things I do. But that is how I tell my students about my disability.